If you want anything in life, anything at all, you have to put yourself within proximity to it. And if there's not any bit of reality on your dreams, they will stay dreams.
Welcome to Life Changing Money, a podcast all about one of the most taboo topics in the world, money. I'm your host, Barbara Strehans, and we're going behind the scenes on business owners' journeys to money, success, and wealth. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Life Changing Money. We have the other half of the Harrisons here today, Miss Erica Harrison. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You drove 12 hours to be here.
Yeah, I did.
That's crazy. Are you driving back today?
With the kids and a dog. Not until Sunday. We're going to take some time to chill out, enjoy the sunshine, and just...
And integrate back into this body after the last couple of days at the retreat?
That is something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it different than you were expecting?
It was. And Jeremy and I were just talking about it on the way here, actually, on the way to the meeting this morning, you know, how cool it was that you chose to integrate the spinal work and the breath work, because it gave us an opportunity as a group to really get comfortable with each other. Mm-hmm. And so now it completely set us up for the rest of the year, because now we feel connected to each other rather than now we can truly network and refer each other out and bring each other up and give each other advice. Whereas prior to this event, we were just a group of business owners who talked every couple of weeks.
Now you know each other real well.
Yeah. So it was very cool.
Yeah, I do that for that reason. Like we can all network when we have to, but it always kind of feels a little like surface level, and I never really want to do it. I'm like, oh, how's your day? Oh, it's great. Yes. How's the weather? Like, I don't know. But then when you're in a room for days with each other and you're literally crying and sobbing and screaming and moaning and snotting and shaking and all the things.
Doing all the things, yeah.
And really getting to know each other's struggles. Like, I think it's important to also know every single person struggles.
Yeah.
Everyone has a story.
Yeah.
Everyone is going through shit that they're not telling anyone. And to just like be in a room where we can all tell each other that.
Yeah. And that was the other cool thing, was afterwards, everybody taking the opportunity to say what they experienced, because that opened it up even further. You know, you can hear the people around you and you know some stuff's going on. And when we all sit up and you look around at everybody and they all look the way you're pretty sure you look, right?
Yeah.
All red-faced. And
yeah.
But then to hear them vocally describe what they went through just made it so much more impactful. It was crazy cool.
Well, you started in corporate, which I think is so crazy.
Yeah.
We all heard from Jeremy's podcast, like, hopefully it's fine I use this term, but you were like prison wife.
I was, yeah.
Now like crazy successful, multi-7-figure business owner. Like, tell us a little bit about that journey.
So it's been one hell of a ride. It really has. And we continue to put ourselves in situations where it will always be that way, right? One hell of a ride. Now, we don't plan on, you know, having the prison visits and all that shit anymore, but we always really kind of keep it really spicy. And the journey it was tough. To be honest, it was really a transformation for the both of us, because I was learning how to be a strong woman. And what we hear that is a strong woman today is very different from what a strong woman really is. We hear a lot about this independence and we have to be so tough and, you know, don't take shit from anybody and don't tolerate any crap from a man. And I think that is just kind of a story that was put out there to distract us from what a strong woman really is. And that's who I was originally, you know, this tough, fuck you, we're not doing it, you know. And it did serve me for the time that it needed to serve me. And it allowed me to establish boundaries with Jeremy and establish boundaries for myself and really hold that line to make sure that we continued moving forward. As things transitioned, though, and he started realizing, one, that I wasn't going anywhere. That's the other thing, you know, is there would be times, I mean, shit. I remember a time, he tells people all the time, he's been kicked out at least a dozen times. Okay. And he has. And I remember one time I don't remember what he did. And it was never for trivial things. Okay. It's been a hell of a ride. But I knew that he was the person God needed me to be with. Okay. So even through all the bullshit and the stuff, I would pray like, what the hell is this? Are you sure this is the one? And I mean, within 24 hours, a huge answer came and something happened. And that next, 24 hours after, I would have those like on the ground prayers of, are you sure this is the person? That was a very solid, absolutely, Erica, this is your person. I need you to ride this out. We've got some shit to do. Fuck. Okay. And every time, I remember this time that one of the times I had kicked him out, he had left for something. I don't remember what, but he wasn't home. And that was really the only time because things were so volatile that he had to be out of the house for me to like make some big moves. And he had left for a couple of hours to go do something. And I took all of his shit and I threw it all on the back porch, locked all the windows.
It's like a country song.
And when he got back home, he saw this giant pile of his stuff sitting outside and he saw me on the other side of the door with a ball bat. Like, open this fucking door. Go for it. So it was that kind of stuff that I really had to make sure that he understood I wasn't fucking around. And through that, though, even when he was gone and he would leave, I was still at home and my role didn't change. I was still the wife. I was still the mom. I was still running business. I stopped nothing. So he knew home was still home. And I think that sometimes when women have to stand up and kind of draw that line, what they do is they spitefully react shamefully. And they maybe run out with somebody else, or they immediately start messaging other guys and they're doing all this stuff. That's where you just create more of a mess for yourself. So when I was loyal to Jeremy, whether we were married or not married, that's who I was loyal to. It didn't matter if I had to kick him out because he was being an asshole or he was running around or he was doing shit, right? It did not matter. I was still all of the things that I said that I was going to be. I never broke that for anything. And so it only took so long of this kind of cycle and this pattern. And every time he would come back, there would be growth. You couldn't just, time wouldn't go a couple days and then we'll just forget it ever happened. There were some major stipulations in place, and big conversations. But he wanted to come back and he wanted to make those changes because he knew what was waiting for him on the other side. Does that make sense? It wasn't this girl who was then running around and now we're both doing this shit. It was a very solid, it was like a stable piece of data for him with all the chaos he had in his life from just getting out of prison or even before he went to prison and the drug dealing and all the stuff and all of the snakes that were surrounding him everywhere he went, just waiting for their opportunity. He had one solid piece of data that he could kind of center to, and that was me. And so each time he would come back, we would have kind of some things in place that would stipulate for us to do this. Here are the things that are required. And I never made him so outlandish that it was impossible for him to obtain.
But enough to grow.
Enough to grow. And enough for our children to see he was growing. And eventually it got to a point, and this has been years. I mean, shit, we've been together. This year it'll be 15 years we've been together. And we were not slow at all. We got together. Our first date lasted 3 weeks.
I love that.
Yeah. And we weren't even going to have a first date. He asked me out for 6 years. Did he tell you this story?
No.
Shit. He asked me out for 6 years. And most of those years he was dating my best friend's, one of my best friend's little sisters.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he was a hoe. And he asked me out for 6 years and I continued to tell him no. We had a mutual friend who was actually his best friend.
Why did you say no?
Because he was just some punk kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was a fucking, in my eyes, he was younger than me. He was always running around selling ditchweed. He was fucking loud and just obnoxious, had no filter, no.
How much younger is he than you?
3 years.
Oh, I wouldn't have guessed.
Yeah. He's 3 years younger
You
than
look
me.
much younger than him.
Thank you. That's great. But you know, when you're a teenager, that's a big gap.
Yeah.
You know, especially for a female.
Yep.
So I did not take him seriously. And then his best friend died, drowned in a lake. And he was a mutual friend of mine. We were in a small town. And so it was a huge deal for everybody. It's one of those towns where we would have bonfires and there'd be anywhere from 30 to 80 people that showed up. And we were all really tight. You know, it was that kind of town. And so when he died, the whole town was on edge. And it took him 24 to 36 hours to find the body. And when they did, we had a celebration of life at somebody's house party, you know, and Jeremy was there and he kept asking me out. And it was always so annoying, you know, and because he never freaking let off. Years he did this. And he kept asking me out at the party. And I finally, because we're in a group setting, there's a bunch of people, I finally said, okay, in front of all of these people, I will let you take me out on one date if you promise you will never in your life ask me out again. He looked at me and said, all I need is one date. Okay.
He's cocky like that.
That was cute. That was cute. And so I convinced my best friend to watch my son. And when she found out I was going out with Jeremy, she did not want to. And, you know, I told her, I need this fucker off my back. Just watch him. We've made a deal. He's never going to ask me out again. I really need this to stop. So just watch him. And she did. And the first date lasted 3 weeks. So she obviously didn't keep my kid that whole time, but it was immediate. It was like we got together and our souls just,
Yeah.
it was crazy. So.
And now you guys run a very successful business together.
We do.
What type of boundaries do you have to have in place to live together, work together, build a business together, have a million kids together?
Yeah. Homeschool our kids.
Yeah.
So respect. Respect is the biggest thing. And I give him his place as a man. I don't step up and, you know, when we're in group settings, and that's part of why I asked him not to come in here today, is because I respect the shit out of my husband. And if he's talking and he has something to say, I'm not going to stop him. I'm going to let him keep communicating. And so I knew if he came in here today, he would just do all the talking and I'd be sitting next to him, you know. But it is the biggest thing is, and it's twofold, is that I respect him like crazy. And I will never downplay him in front of other people. I will never talk bad about him to somebody else. And there's a difference between talking about people's struggles, right? Mm-hmm. You and I could sit down and we could talk about our struggles or maybe things that our husbands may be struggling with, but we're talking about them from a different angle.
Yeah, it's different than those. I feel like I have these friend groups that they'll have like bunko night, you know, all the girls, and then they're all just like bitching about their husbands. And like, oh my God, he's like, doesn't do this and he doesn't watch the kids and this and that. And I'm just like, what's the point of that? Nothing good is gonna come out from
only
that.
Negative things will come of that because they're just going to create more of that in their life because that's what they're looking at. That's what they're looking for. Mm-hmm. And then when you also have this media generated ideology of men should be servants to women and promiscuity is amazing. And, you know, it also is teaching our young girls that the more people they sleep with, the stronger of a female they are, which is so backwards.
Yeah.
You know, you're actually losing yourself every time you're doing that. You're not gaining anything additional. And for these women sitting around bitching, they do it because they don't know any different. They have not been educated on how much that is screwing up things for them and how much of a negative space they're generating and vibrating out. And then the respect doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. If you're willing to talk about the person, we're not talking any random person, and even that I don't do. But we're not talking about a random person. Mm-hmm. We're talking about the one person that you very literally dedicated your entire life to and promised, I'm going to be the one for you. And if that is something that you're willing to just shit on and talk bad about and berate behind their back and disrespect, it's a really good reflection of who you are as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think girls look at it that way.
Mm-hmm.
They look at it more from a victim mentality, how they deserve better, but it's because they don't know any different.
Well, and a lot of it too, I think, is they also probably need to be a better wife.
1,000%.
Mm-hmm.
When we're critical of other people, it's because we've done something to them.
Mm.
So whenever you hear people that are really, and I catch it with myself, if I'm really critical towards Jeremy or one of my kids or someone around, and I start getting in my head, even when it doesn't come out of your mouth, when it's even in your head, just stop for a second and think, what did I do to this person? What did I do? Because there's something there. Should I found something from 20 years ago the other day as being critical about somebody that I love, one of my other family members, and I thought, what the fuck did I do? And I found it.
Mm. It's a good
Right
reflection.
up, and I'm fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing too, is when we are critical of other people, it's likely because we have a huge opportunity for growth.
Mm-hmm.
So much easier to look at somebody else.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So as you've been growing this business together, what have you both had to learn about money? Coming from prison wife to multi-7-figure business owner.
From getting shut off notices every single month, deciding which one of these bills do we need to pay. The red one. That's the one. Green, not so bad. Pink, you're okay. When it gets red, shit's real. Yeah. What have we had to learn about money? Jeremy and I are very risk tolerant. We make big moves with our finances.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that we have really learned about money is it's a flow, like energy. It's like everything else. What you will flow out will return back to you. And so one of the biggest things we've learned is not being stingy with our money. If there is something that is in front of us that makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
even if the dollars don't make sense for us, we're going to make that move and we're going to do the thing.
And you have the faith behind it.
1,000%.
Mm-hmm.
1,000%. And then we also don't sit, you can't just put this money out there and then just sit and be like, okay, God, whenever you bring it back, I'll be here.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to keep working.
Yep.
And then it shows up, One of the biggest things outside of that, especially with as much as we move money around and as much as we're risking things, is knowing where in the heck it's all at. Because we've constantly got money all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing where it's at. We made some huge mistakes in just hiring an accountant and trusting that they were doing a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just walked away and did our thing. So, but there was never any counsel. There was never any coaching. There was never any discussions.
Mm-hmm.
They would do the taxes and it was great the first year. They did so amazing. We thought, shit, we can literally be completely hands off with this.
Mm-hmm.
But we weren't learning anything along the way. We weren't learning strategies. We weren't learning how to move properly. We were like the Tasmanian devils all over the place. And then at the end of the year, hoping our accountant would make it okay for us.
Uh-huh.
So the other biggest thing is, having somebody like you who's telling us all of the ways that we can make our business work for us and make our money work for us.
Yeah.
That was a huge takeaway. We really underestimated the power of understanding strategy when it comes to tax.
Mm. Well, we're blessed to have you.
Yeah.
And you can make all the money in the world, but if you're not keeping it,
Yeah.
What's the point? Like, you're working so hard and then it's like, shit, it just all went away.
Yeah. Oh, Uncle Sam, you want, no problem. Here, take 80% of it. It's fine.
Well, something else I love about you both is you guys are always willing to invest, to be in the room
Every time.
with the right people. So if you can share a little bit about your mindset about getting in the right rooms with people and why other business owners need to do the same.
A really big word for us is proximity.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
If you want anything in life, anything at all, you have to put yourself within proximity to it.
Yeah.
Or else it's so out of reach and out of mind that it's just this fallacy and you have no reality with it. And if there's not any bit of reality on your dreams, they will stay dreams. So we put ourselves in the room. We pay fine amounts of money to put ourselves in the right rooms. I remember there was a time when we dropped 30 grand to eat dinner with Grant and Elena Cardone, and that was nothing, but you do the things. You put yourself in situations where you're going to meet the people. And when you get in there, the other thing is you can't just get in the room and then sit there and leave and hope some magic's going to happen. So
you have to pour into others.
Absolutely. Find ways to add value. Being confident is the first thing.
Yeah.
And I think we all struggle with hitting that point where we recognize that we have so much to offer and we just have to drown out all the bullshit noise that ever made us think that we don't.
And something you both do really well is when you are in the rooms, you're there to help other people. You're not there to take. And you can always see those people that are there to like sell people or, they're just there to like learn and leave. But you both are always willing to share your thoughts and share your experiences and your pieces of knowledge and value to the group. And then that's when everyone's like, oh, who's Erica?
I love that.
Yeah.
We recognize that putting ourselves in proximity is how we recognize that by getting around really successful people and having them share things with us. No truly successful person that became successful legitimately, withholds information.
Yeah.
Because you just don't reach a level of success when you want to hoard everything. Truly successful people want to see the world freaking thrive. And the best way to do that is to share knowledge with people. If we went through hell 6 times, very literally, to get where we're at, what kind of broken mindset is it to think, well, we went through it, everyone else should have to too? Or people who think, well, I start at the bottom, my kids should have to as well. Hold on. What's the point if every next group of people just has to start at 0 as a society will never elevate?
Yeah.
We're just in this constant cycle. So sharing the information, giving people some insight. We try not to tell people what to do, but we definitely will tell people what we did that didn't work and what we did that really did work. And then give them the opportunity themselves to kind of assess and say, I think I'll try that,
Yeah. Well, I love hearing about your goals for your construction company, but you both are also wanting to start a new venture in business as well. And you're going to impact the world and impact other couples and leaders. And do you have any info you can share with others to find you about that yet?
So by the time this comes out, our website, it's already up. It's being built right now. It's saltandsteel.us, Salt and Steel. And that's our umbrella company. We're doing several things. We have obviously the simple things like swag. Jeremy's built a planner. I've got a daily book for women to really help improve marriages that will keep them focused on a daily basis on how to bring value in their marriage. And the cool thing about that is the more value we add as women, the more we get back. That's when men perform. When we withhold from them until they do better, we're always going to be in a deficit. We just keep pouring into them and then you'll see them just freaking elevate. And that's when you treat your king like a king, he will have his queen. But until then, you're just a couple of people battling it out. So I've got like a daily kind of, not devotional, but something that will help women grow. We'll be doing one-on-one coaching. We'll be doing virtual stuff. We've got some courses that we're building as well.
Great.
We're doing couples retreats and we're doing seminars. So the goal is to help couples who want to grow something together or who are already in business together, because it's hard enough to be married, but to be married and grow a business together is really tricky. So we want to help people with that.
Well, I can't wait to see it
Thank you.
grow and
Yeah,
expand.
it's going to be awesome.
Thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Life Changing Money. Don't forget to subscribe, and I would love if you left a review and shared it with your friends. See you next time.